That's right, we're straight into the action. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. No intro. No intro. I know. If you're too used to that copyrighted intro, which I still have not gotten in trouble for, thank you. That is good. Hopefully I'll ever get in trouble for that one. It's not like a super well-known poppy track, but I decided to just go guns blazing because I didn't really have any setup in particular that I wanted to do. You'll notice already there's a few changes. My partner bought a window right here. Sorry, not a window, a mirror. So it made me so that in order for this to look good, I had to turn everything slightly to the left, or maybe it's the camera's right, or no, it's the camera's left and my right. I think no, it's both of our lefts. I think. I'm not ready for another Monday morning coffee, but hey, before I forget, again, Monday morning coffee, episode 32. I'm hoping that as time goes on, I'll be better at doing these intros, and I will not stumble upon my words quite so much. But something tells me that's never really going to happen. So we'll just have to see how things go from here. But there is a slightly new setup. I turned the camera slightly more towards the window. I actually think it looks pretty good. Because, of course, we do get a lot of light in here. It's not quite as shiny as it seems like. I actually have them mostly closed, but I'm glad it looks shiny because it looks a lot better than if it was like a really dark space. I got a lot of good natural light coming into my face this way. So it works out. I'm rocking the classic plain white tee for this one. Also, it is now summer, so I was going to rock the hoodie for just prosperity's sake, me looking better on camera, but it's way too fucking hot for that. I'm already wearing sweatpants, which I really don't need the sweatpants either. So I decided, you know what? Gotta go classic, you know what I'm saying? Gotta go classic. I actually don't think I've worn the white t-shirt. No, that's not true. I've had to have worn the white t-shirt at least like 20 episodes of this 32 episode show, and I want you to know, even if I didn't, a good chunk of the time where I did not wear the plain white tee, I definitely was wearing it like 5 minutes before the program started, and I realized, oh shit, I need to wear something else. That, or the classic, I'm wearing something on episode like 25, and then we get all the way up to episode 26, and I flip on the camera, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm wearing the same exact thing. Which, fortunately, that was a little bit rare. That one doesn't happen as much, but it does happen sometimes. With the plain white tee, at least you get to know that it's a different plain white tee each time. Or at least, that's what I'd like to have you know. Did I actually do the full episode intro? It's Monday Morning Coffee, episode 32. I have a cup of coffee. I have a list of topics. I am going to keep discussing these topics until I am relatively close to finishing the coffee. I don't want to make any extravagant promises anymore. The last couple of episodes, I have not gotten close to finishing this coffee. At least I don't think so. Maybe the last episode, did I finish the coffee last episode? Was that different? Or was that, did I not do it that time either? Oh well. So we'll start this off. I don't even have notes for this one. I'm just going off the cuff. I have a pet peeve of mine that I'm trying to work on for these shows. I'm trying to make them seem not so eclectic. I'm going to try and talk slower. I'm going to try and think of my words before I speak them, which is always something that I've gotten in a lot of trouble for. But I am using this stream as a teaching tool for that. You know, there was a guy who came in here last stream and said, why do you stream to 0 viewers? And of course I told them because I'm mostly using the recordings, but it's easy for me to do these live streams as well. And that's a true answer. That's a serious answer. As well as my answer of looking back on the progress I've made, because of course this show is mostly about my projects, mostly about what I'm working on, what I'm interested in at any given time. And because of that, of course, it does, for me, it's interesting to look back on. But I also use it as a practice tool for a lot of other stuff that I'm working on. And I think one of the things that's good is speaking, because I've never really been good at, a lot of times I'll just go so fast, I'll slur my words. And it's not as funny, even if I have a really good joke. Or, even worse, I have a really good joke, and I get distracted, or I, forget the line last second, and I stumble. That ain't good. That's no good. So I'm trying to focus. This is one of the experiments, the practices that I am using for this show, is improving the communication part of everything. And because I have to use my podcast voice for this now, this is a good segue. You will soon be seeing the Monday morning oh shit, that's a spoiler. The Monday morning coffee on podcasts. Anywhere you get your podcast, because we're turning this into a podcast explicitly. It was already kind of one. It's just me talking to a camera, so I think very rarely do I ever use any sort of visual guides, and when I do, you can kind of figure out what I'm talking about, so it's not that bad. But we're gonna start doing podcasts. I'm gonna get an Anchor set up for this. I'm probably gonna use the old Anchor that was originally the Astukery podcast, which is kind of just me talking over some of my old blogs, but that one's I think that one's finished officially, but I'll probably just use a separate one for it anyway. And we'll start uploading the new videos on here, since these videos are very time sensitive, I would say. If you watched Astukery episode 10 today, it would be cool to kind of look back at, but it wouldn't be as interesting. Of course, Monday Morning Coffee episode 10. But, at this point, since the Astukery podcast doesn't exist, this pretty much is the Astukery podcast, so it makes sense. Monday Morning Coffee. If you look back at Monday Morning Coffee episode 10, there's going to be a lot of outdated information on it, just because it is mostly updates as to what I'm working on. So we're just going to start with the newest couple of episodes, which I guess when it gets set up will hopefully be 33, but I don't know how long it's going to take me to get everything set up. I don't know if Spotify or whoever owns Anchor is going to get mad at me for trying to make 2 accounts. I don't know how that whole process is set up. I haven't really looked at it beyond the one that I made for the Astukery podcast. So I do have to look into all that stuff as well. But hopefully they'll be up. So if you were curious, we'll get some more viewers on there at least, I guess. If you were curious in this sort of thing. I do want to focus this kind of more into being a podcast light. I know podcasts get a lot of bad rep, especially nowadays, because it's just such a weird, pretentious thing that people do. And I promise, my change in my communication, my voice, does not have to do with the fact that I am really, really shipping the podcast thing hard. It has nothing to do with that. I actually genuinely just want to get better at communication and talking and the flow of my speech. I am not trying to do podcaster voice. If I see a single fucking comment on this video telling me that I'm doing podcaster voice, I'm whooping their ass. Okay? I'm gonna be serious. It's gonna be slow at first while I get into the groove of things, right? When I figure it, because right now I'm just trying to make sure that I'm saying the next thing that I intend to say. I'm not going on a weird digression, and it's not becoming a bunch of loose little pieces everywhere that I'm vaguely following. That's an entertaining way of doing it. I also want to say the right word next, which is going to be a whole other problem. But it's going to be slow as I figure that out, and then as it'll get faster and pick back up to the speed that you're used to. Because that is my normal talking speed. That's not a lie. That's no cap, as the kids say. So yeah, you'll see the show on Anchor as well. And by Anchor, I mean Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You don't actually use Anchor to look at this stuff. It's mostly audio-oriented. Speaking of audio-oriented, let me go to something that is not audio-oriented. Let's update our 1,000 follower goal sheet. That's right. We're still doing it. We're still up. It's only May. We have until December for the challenge, by the way. Or I guess until someone wins. I like treating this like it is a game, even though it's kind of just sad. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, in case you want to know why this is so sad, the goal of 1,000 followers, I have 4 different social media accounts that I am currently looking at that are growing, or they have a lot of subscribers and followers and they are not growing at all. All of them are pretty close to hitting, reasonably close to hitting 1,000 views, followers, subscribers by the end of the year. I'm just curious, which one's going to hit it first? Which one's going to hit it first? By the way, if I look weird, which I guess I kind of am, so this is the camera, right? This is me looking directly at the camera. I imagine you don't want me looking directly at the camera because we've already seen all the thumbnails of me staring directly into the camera and it looks horrifying. I'm looking at the preview screen so I can see what I'm looking at, but I realize it kind of looks weird because it's like I'm talking to an interviewer off camera. But it's also the case of like I can't move this because of the mirror. We'll figure it out. We'll workshop it. That's what this whole stream. It is a stream. It's also a podcast now. It's also a video recording that you may or may not watch. It's all a work in progress. Is the point of this. Episode 32 might not be very good, but when you watch episode 52, it's going to be way better. And I bet if you looked at episode 12, that shit's dog shit. That's terrible. It's fucking stupid compared to episode 32. Okay? It's just like what Jordan B. Peterson said. Let's get to the fucking 1,000 follower. What am I talking about? Okay, hey! First one up. It's the TikTok. TikTok's going wild. Man, all my friends, they're all on TikTok now. 2023, TikTok. That's the new thing. We got 319 followers. So we are still growing pretty well on this. I want to say, I mean, I'm so bad at thinking about what the numbers are last time. I guess that's a good reason to watch previous episodes of this. But right now we're sitting at 319 followers. Which, this morning, I checked, it was 306 followers. So, hey, I remember that number. This one's going up pretty well. Still feeling the rhythm on this. I have finished planning out Feeling the Rhythm now, the interactive story series that is on this TikTok. I want to say, so we're on episode 8 right now. I set it up I set up to be 28 episodes, but it's probably going to be longer. And the reason for that is that I have, I've got, sorry, I got distracted there. They're each a minute, right? They're each a minute. So it's got to be a minute long of footage, a minute long of story. So if I'm planning it out, and I'm trying to set up something, a minute, it's hard to figure out a minute if you're planning it versus like actually writing it and actually writing the script. So it's probably going to be longer than 20 episodes, but I mean, that's, when we're talking about the 1,000 follower thing, that's not relevant. In fact, you probably want more of those videos since the videos are so successful. So if anything, I would say the TikTok's got this one in the bag at this point. I'm curious, do I have the numbers? I think I have monthly numbers that I keep. I don't have the weekly numbers that I just talk about on this show. But I think I do have monthly numbers that I keep. Let me check. I do have monthly numbers, but the only time I ever counted it was last month, which is actually, it's the number for last month, so it was actually a week ago. So actually, this is perfect then. For our case, it was 293. So 293 was where we were at last week, and now we're at 300 and, what was that? 319. Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Hey. Oh, you can't hear that. Never mind. That's the I accidentally opened up the YouTube page. It was just me screaming really loudly because of the channel trailer is the best of 2022. But I guess you couldn't hear that. I realized I clicked it wrong and I kind of kept it on for dramatic effect, but the desktop audio was muted. So if anything, you only heard it from the microphone. So the TikTok is at 319 followers. That's pretty good. Hey, 319. That's a number. And 722 likes. If you recall from the now dead TikTok that was supposed to be clips from this channel, it only ever got to 50 followers and 329 likes. It also has probably 3 times the amount of videos. So, it's bad. Like I said, it's pretty impressive. But also kind of sad for this channel. Speaking of sad for this channel, our YouTube subscribers. No, I do want to point out here though. So we have 633 subscribers, right, on this channel. It just keeps falling. It just keeps going down. Each week, it's just worse and worse. However, the videos have actually been doing pretty well, which I was surprised and kind of impressed to see. The Quora video, of course, it's doing 107 views, which isn't as good as like a Germa-related video, but like I said, we're trying to go away from Germa. The like to dislike ratio on that is really good. I think it's got 9 likes and 1 dislike. The Don't Go Into the Basement video that just released on Saturday, that is insanely clickbait because it definitely seems like it's some sort of creepypasta video, and then you click it and it's a house flipper stream compilation, actually also has a really good like to dislike ratio, which I can only assume because of how few people actually follow this channel. You went in there thinking that it was a creepypasta, saw that it was House Flipper, and actually enjoyed it, which is impressive. I'm patting myself on the back for that one. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So the Don't Go Into the Basement video is doing numbers. Quora is doing great. The Grotto Beast videos, of course, did very, very well, but those are also Germa-related, so you could probably guessed. Although it is closer to my content than Germa's content, so we are still setting ourselves out of the way of that, which is good. But the subscribers are still terrible, and of course, this is a subscriber-based challenge, so fuck the YouTube, by the way. One more here with the Pinterest. The Pinterest, alas, is also doing just awful. Just terrible. I don't know what happened. It's a curse. Everybody is doing bad with the TikTok. Well, actually, the Twitter is doing pretty good this week, but there's a reason for that, which we'll get to. The TikTok, okay. The TikTok is at 529 followers. I think last week it was at 540. So it just went like I don't know what happened. I've been posting semi-regularly, probably the same amount I always post on the Pinterest. I mean, the Pinterest has never been like a main page, it just has a lot of followers. Naturally. Which technically sets it up to be pretty good for this challenge, but for some reason, it's just not doing too well. It ain't doing too well anymore. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that I've started putting original art on there. Maybe it does. Like the people who are following see that shit and they're like, oh god, oh no, it's that AI art shit, and it's not very good either. Let's unfollow this guy. That would actually make a lot of sense if that's what that was. That would actually make genuinely a lot of sense if that was the case. But I don't know if it is. Because I feel like half the followers on there are just bots anyway. How do you get the 500 followers on a Pinterest page? Doesn't really make any sense. But hey, it's still in the running. It's still halfway there. It's still higher up than the TikTok right now. But however, who is not higher than the TikTok, our last competitor, who is now in last place, but is still doing relatively well, the Twitter, which is at 261 followers. And this one's kind of a misnomer here, because I don't use the Twitter anymore. You'll notice that it did go up. It was at 245, I want to say, last time we saw this. It's now at 261. And the main reason for this, I stopped using the Twitter, but I do follow the Fish Tank, because I've been watching Fish Tank, as you know from the last week's updates. I have been watching the Fish Tank show, and I do tweet about the Fish Tank show, and I think a couple of the people who watch the Fish Tank show just followed me. So those are like temporary subscribers, I feel like. Once that show ends, they're all probably going to come off the bandwagon. We'll be back to 245. So I'm not putting too much stake in there. At this point, I just count the Twitter to be nice. I'm just in this... I just have this here so that, we could just... it was in here from the beginning, so it's like, well, I feel bad taking it out. But it really kind of is. It kind of is its own thing. So, I guess that's that. So that is the race to 1,000 followers, which, like I said, kind of sad because it's all just my stuff. It's no real competition. Me just looking at vanity numbers, vanity metrics. But I think it's interesting. I think it's kind of cool. Hey, why not? It's kind of interesting to see how far not how far you've fallen, how far you've gone up and try and hit your goals as best as you can. So, in terms, I guess I should talk, I don't have too much more for this episode. I mean, the Anchor's coming out. I still have I'm behind on content specifically for JBR and sort of for this channel, but since I have so little stuff for this channel, it's not that big of a deal. So I do have to catch up on some JBR stuff. In fact, I do need to set a reminder because I'm probably not going to have time to record that stuff today. For that's supposed to be released tomorrow. Oops. Shh. Don't tell anyone. So I definitely need to fucking, write that down, right now, that I need to do that. So let me... look, he's doing the thing again. He's doing the thing again. He's doing the, let me set up my to-do list while I'm on the stream. I know. It's a bad habit, but like I said, this is a learning experience. Just wait until we get to episode 52. I'm telling you. Wait until we get to fucking episode 52. Record the shorts. I was hoping that I would have time today, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. Now that I see... Well, actually, we were pretty on time for this show, right? I always do it at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock every Monday to do the Monday morning coffee. Great job, asshole. And I want to point out, I'm almost done with this coffee. By the way... I need to stop saying that. It's such an asshole thing to say. Anyway, so I'm hoping to get those done for JBR, but of course, that's a JBR thing. That's not this channel. You really don't have to worry about that at all. As always, every Friday on the TikTok, if you do want to be part of that sensation, that growing, high growth, talking to town, everybody's talking about it. New episodes of Feeling the Rhythm are on Fridays. They come out on TikTok. They also come out on YouTube, not this channel, the main channel, which you can find by clicking and to this channel and then seeing a little banner up top. It'll say main channel. You click that one, you go into that channel. That's where that good stuff is. For this channel, I am hoping to get a new video out on Saturday. That will be the Half-Life Alyx cut. So of those 3 Half-Life Alyx streams, I'm trying to cut them all together. It's one of the last few live stream highlight things that I'm going to be doing. And then I'm going to just try one more for BeamNG. Because the BeamNG streams were also very fun. So that's going to be out on Saturday. And of course, as always, episode 33. You can look forward to it. Monday Morning Coffee. That is going to be on the 15th of Monday. I could have just said next Monday. I didn't have to look at the calendar. I have the calendar up, so I might as well. And with that, the coffee is drunk. We are finishing at a crisp, clean 25 minutes and 23 seconds, a little bit above that. I shouldn't have counted the seconds. I kind of jinxed myself there. But this has been it for Monday Morning Coffee. Not going to do the outro since I didn't do the intro, so now why not? I guess if we want to put this on Anchor, maybe it's good to not do the intros anymore because I don't know how their copyright's going to work. But this has been the show. If you liked it, hit it with a like, I guess. Do whatever the hell you want. It's your life. It's your opportunities. You go out there. You get him, Tiger. But I'm going to end the stream now. That's enough for learning opportunity. Hey, learning opportunity. Learning opportunity here. Figure out a better way to do the outros. Also, probably the intros too. Well, I got the intros down bad. But figure out a better way to do the outros. Anyway, see you next time.